You're listening to Fun with Horror with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Oh, well, hello, all you beautiful doppelgangers out there. Welcome back to another episode of Fun with Horror, your weekly movie review podcast in which Andrew and I take turns giving each other movies to watch, and then we discuss them the following week. As always, we have two rules. Number one, whoever picks the movie has to pick a movie they've never seen, and number two, we both have to watch the movie before we discuss it. Last week was my pick. And I picked last year's The Night House. This movie is directed by David Bruckner, and it stars Rebecca Hall and Sarah Goldberg and Vondie Curtis Hall, and we're about to discuss it. But first, buddy, it's good to hear your voice.
Hey, man, it's great to hear your voice. That was a beautiful intro, by the way.
You are a beautiful intro.
You are. I got a feeling this is going to be a good episode, man.
My clothes are off. I'm ready.
Twinsies.
I just got to tell you a few things.
Yes, please.
I just got out of Facebook jail. My first time ever.
Congrats.
And I just want to tell you why. It's funny.
Yes, please.
So in another episode, I mentioned that I'm in this adults-only Disneyland group, or I was, and I made a comment about that men are idiots, and they flagged me for whatever reason.
Cool.
It's hate speech. And the funny thing is that I noticed that somebody, maybe me, I think I challenged it, and they came back and said, no, that's against our guidelines. And I'm like, come on, dude, men are idiots.
Yeah,
You're probably a man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Whoever reviewed it is definitely a man.
Yeah.
So, but the second time, the thing that put me in a 24-hour little timeout, it's understandable, I guess. Somebody made a stupid post about should people should adults go to Disneyland without children? And I, very sarcastically, I chimed in and I said, no, you must always take a child to Disneyland, even if you have to kidnap one. And I got timed out for 24 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
I decided to leave that adults-only Disneyland group. They've been pretty annoying lately anyway, but I figured, this is dangerous. I get sarcastic in there, which you're supposed to get sarcastic. I've seen some pretty interesting posts in there.
Yeah.
That include Disney characters in multiple stages of undress.
Oh. So yeah,
it's adults only. So, but you can't joke about kids getting kidnapped. I get it.
Yeah. That's hilarious though. Oh my gosh. Well, so what's it like? What's life like on the outside?
I don't want to say it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because that's stupid. But it was annoying because I would jump on once in a while. I browse a little bit of Facebook, and you can't even like or unlike something.
Oh, wow.
Like you posted in Fun with Horror, our beautiful Facebook group. Join it, everybody. Everybody out there, it's public. Fun with Horror, the Facebook group. Last night you made a post, and I went to put a little heart next to it, and it wouldn't let me.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Weird.
And that happened multiple times where I just wanted to like somebody's post, and annoyingly, I was waiting until 10 o'clock this morning.
I would have put it all on notebooks, like, all right, make sure to go to Andrew's to like this, make sure to go to this person's to like this.
I don't know if I did go back and love your post.
Heathen.
I think I did, though.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If not, I'll do it later.
Thanks, man.
Something else happened. Something else I tried to do last weekend that I wanted to tell you. And I was like, nope, save it for the podcast.
Woo!
I when Halloween Kills came out on home video and the extended cut,
Right.
I have been kind of wanting to watch it again, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about the movie. We have an episode. I like the movie despite its flaws.
Right. Yep. Me too.
I think we both did.
Yep.
Yeah. So I started to watch it the other day. And I realized that I can't watch a Halloween movie in March or April.
Whoa.
I can't do it. Like, there's a certain feeling. It's like watching a Christmas movie when it's not December or maybe November. Same thing. If a horror movie takes place during Halloween, I have to watch it in October or maybe September, but usually October.
Wow. I get that, though. I get that. That makes sense.
Can you watch a Halloween movie outside of October?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'm alone.
No, I mean, I guarantee you're not. I guarantee if people were to comment on our Facebook, they would put something to agree
The Fun
with
with
that.
Horror Facebook group?
Yeah, that's right. It's public.
Yeah, public. Anybody can join.
Wait, are you saying anyone can join?
Anyone. All they got to do is search for the Fun with Horror Facebook group.
Whoa. And can they make comments when they're in the group?
They can talk to us. They'll know our real names.
Whoa.
And it's not Scotty and Andrew.
That's right.
It's Bowie and Ziggy.
That's
Just
right.
kidding. That's my cat. Hi, Ziggy. And the other thing I wanted to ask you about,
Yeah.
and I have this written down in my notes.
Yeah.
What is up with the Deep House?
For real, though. That
Okay,
is so
so-
crazy. Yes. Yeah. Tell
Yeah,
people.
let's tell people. Andrew and I, it's fun. We check our podcast downloads. You
Mhm.
know, I'm sure other people do too. We don't really like stress about it, but it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun to see which episodes are getting the most downloads and stuff. And
Mhm.
shockingly, our episode in which we covered the Deep House
Yeah.
has the most downloads of any episode other than our premiere episode, of course, and our top 10 episode. You know, which we don't really count those because, of course, they're going to be the highest.
Right.
Everybody starts at number 1, and then you see top 10, and you want to know what somebody's top 10 is.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a list.
Of course.
But yeah, the Deep House.
So random.
It is random. So if anybody out there, if anybody knows, like what is it about the Deep House episode that people jump to that one and want to listen to that one? Maybe we should go back and listen to it and see if there's something special about it.
Right? Did we accidentally give out the lottery numbers to I don't know, man. I have no idea. What's going on? But
maybe we talked at a certain frequency
right.
in that episode that stigma no, that's not the word I'm looking for. Stimulates
Yeah.
somebody's something in their brain
Right?
or something in their body.
Ooh, welcome to the Deep House.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Maybe a bunch of techno junkies who see the Deep House and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's hear some unts." And they go and it's like, "What the hell is this?" Bobby?
Ooh, that was good, dude.
What? Well, I don't know what you're talking
That
about.
impression of Hank Hill was really good.
Well, damn, Bobby. This is just a horror podcast. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Episode over.
Yep. Done. Find out next
All
week
right,
what we thought.
So now that we've talked about the Deep House, let's talk about Tourist Trap.
What?
You thought I was going to say the Night House.
I did.
And I am the Night House. Let's talk about that.
My husband took a boat out on the lake. He took a handgun that I didn't even know that we owned, and did he leave a note? He did. You were right. There is nothing. Nothing is after you. You're safe now. You said you were safe? Safe from what?
All right, Scotty. This was your movie. The Night House, which
The
did
Night House.
come out last year, as you
Yes.
mentioned.
Just like the Deep House.
Everyone was just wanting some kind of house last year.
Yeah. They just want some house.
Yeah, maybe, you know what, maybe it had something to do with COVID. I don't know, man. But everyone just wanted a house. So. But the Night House, yes.
Yeah, the Night House.
The Night House, you picked it. Of course, as we mentioned, we kind of want to do our little 3-minute or so recap of the movie, just to give everyone kind of a heads up and let them know what the movie's about. Those that
3-minute recap.
3-minute recap. But of course, before we have you do the 3-minute recap, I'm just going to remind everyone that this is your spoiler warning. Scotty's about to recap the whole movie, and we are going to discuss the whole movie. So if you've not seen The Night House and you're okay with spoilers, stick around. But if you are not, pause this, go watch The Night House, and come back and listen to the rest of it. But again, this is your final spoiler warning before we jump into crazy spoiler territory.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you, buddy. That was very sweet. Without further ado, are you ready to do the recap, man?
Man, I think so. I'm going to leave some things out. I'm just going to tell you right now.
That's okay.
This movie has some complexity to it.
Correct. Yep.
So,
you know what? I left out like half the movie last time, so don't even worry about it.
I don't even remember what movie we did. So
Antlers.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Dude.
Which can be found on on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and I don't remember all of them.
And you can come to the Facebook group, the Fun with Horror Facebook group, to talk to us about Antlers or the Night House or even the Deep House.
That's any of them. Come to Facebook.
Facebook.
Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah,
for
I'm ready. I'm
All
ready,
right. Then I'm going to start the timer, and we'll do, like I said, about 3 minutes. But
Yeah, do it.
All
Just tell me when.
all right, in 3, 2, 1, go ahead.
All right. Well, okay, so here's the thing. The Night House kind of tells two stories.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the movie, you have Beth, and she has lost her husband. He's killed himself. He went out onto the lake that they live next to. He shot himself in the head. It's horrible. It's sad. But then the movie breaks off into two different movies, and it's according to how you watch it. On the surface, you have a movie in which Beth starts getting haunted at her house every night by what seems to be her dead husband. She starts trying to figure out why he killed himself, and in doing so, she ends up finding these plans that he wrote for a reverse image house of their own, because he built their house, by the way. And she finds this house in the middle of the woods. It's abandoned. She finds pictures in his phone of a girl that looks just like her. All these things are piling up. She eventually goes and confronts one of these women who follows her back to her house and tells her that her husband took her to this abandoned, this half-built house, and was getting all nice, and he was crying. He was having some emotions, and then he started to choke her. And the girl, thinking that it was, she told him to stop, and he did, and the girl just thought it was something sexual. And then, so she leaves, and then all of a sudden, Beth goes to this house, trips on the floorboards, finds all these dead bodies under the floorboards. So the husband's been killing these women. She finds out kind of that he's been killing them to satiate this presence, this death that's following her, and he's trying to keep it at bay, but it eventually takes him. That's the story, and he's sticking with it. In the morning, she has this huge confrontation at night, and in the morning, her friend comes, I think it's her friend Claire, comes to the house, finds Beth out in the boat, and Beth is sitting in the boat with the gun, and she's talking to the presence, and the presence trying to get her to shoot herself like Owen did, but she doesn't do it. And she's standing on the docks with Claire and neighbor Mel, and she sees the image of the presence still in the boat. Now that's one. The second way you can watch this movie is that most of that is all in her head, and it's just a movie about depression. And at the end, when she sees the presence in the boat, that signifies that the depression will always be with her until the day she dies, that she's always going to have to fight it. And that's the movie, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, perfect. That was amazing. And like still 5 seconds left. That was
5
really
seconds.
good. Yeah, dude.
Well, thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Wow.
I still didn't say everything I wanted to say, but hey.
Well, it's
Got
hard
through
to
it.
do. It's hard to
It
do.
is.
But
It's difficult. The 3 minutes is not an easy timer.
you're right.
And that's, we talked about it off camera last time. I like to say off camera, even though it's off microphone. And we decided that, hey, it's okay to practice a little bit, as long as we don't write it down.
Right. Yes.
But
Yeah.
we are allowed to practice a little bit before we record.
Yes. Part of me wanted to say that I forgot to hit record during that, but that would be mean. That would be a mean joke, so I'm not going to do it.
Well, see, here's the thing. When you've done 3-minute recaps, I've actually had little interjections that I've wanted to make once in a while, but I never do it because I don't want to mess up your flow.
No, I get it. Yeah. Yep. I totally understand
Yep.
it. Yep.
Yep.
Yup.
Drinking water. Okay.
Good for you. All right. Well, then, thank you for the beautiful recap. That was excellent. But the question on everyone's mind, everyone listening right now,
Is
and
it really,
myself, yes.
It's on your mind. I don't know if everybody listening cares.
I think they do. You know what? I'm going to say that they do. If they do care, they can write us on Facebook.
Facebook. The Fun with Horror Facebook group.
I love this episode. All right. Oh, God. Okay, but our question, my question, everyone's question, what did you think of The Night House?
I think you know that I love this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Nice.
What did you think of it?
Oh, boy. I thought it was good. I think it's going to be very similar to a recent episode.
You mean Antlers?
Yeah.
No.
No,
I'm going to spend this episode trying to change your mind.
I know, and that's please do. I have questions, and you can answer them, man. That's
I have. Well, I see. That's the thing. This is another movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's as they joked about in Scream. This is another elevated horror movie,
Yes.
and another movie. Like we've been doing a bunch of these
We
movies
really have.
with hidden meanings or that are metaphors for something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
Yeah. No, I think it's. I know. Ever since really Titan, I feel like.
Titan. I didn't want to say it. I wasn't going to mention it because I mention it every episode.
Oh, I mentioned it. Don't worry. Titan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I feel like since that one, we've kind of gone down this rabbit hole. For the most part.
Well, we didn't mean to.
No, we really didn't. It just
Like,
happened.
I didn't know this was a big metaphor movie. I thought this was a movie about a haunting in a house, in a weird house.
Yeah. Yep. That was kind of what I was expecting.
And then I watched the movie, and I'm like, well, dang, that whole movie was a metaphor for depression.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I watched it a second time trying to figure out if the movie was like what the movie was. If it was just a metaphor or if it was an actual haunting movie.
Right.
And I think that's the interesting thing about it is that it can be both. And I think a lot of people will find a combination of the two.
Right. Nope. I think you're absolutely right.
But there's a lot of little clues in the movie that lead one to believe that a lot of things that happen in the movie are in her head.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, man.
See, this is
So,
why.
but let me-
Yeah,
yeah.
I need you.
I need you.
Aw.
I need you.
We need each other.
Let me get out of the way.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is everything, but one of the main things that I didn't care for in the movie.
Yes, please. Yep.
So one of the main things, if you watch the bonus features, which was just one 20-minute behind-the-scenes thing,
Mm-hmm.
not really even, it was barely behind the scenes, but one of the actors, I think, is saying how the house is its own character. The house is a main character of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't feel like it was. I felt like the house was there
Yeah.
and she lived in it, but the night house, which I'm assuming is the reverse image house that we
Right.
actually don't even really see in the movie except for one scene.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the scene that Owen has supposedly half built.
Right, yes.
Or not the scene, did I say the scene?
I
The
think so.
house
The house, yeah. I know what you meant.
that Owen started building. And supposedly killed these women in.
Right.
Although the movie also leads you to believe that he killed women in their house, so who knows?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that those are that's the night house. I don't even know what the night house is. But I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's it, because when she crosses the lake,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's nighttime on her side of the lake too, she crosses over into like a reddish night.
Right, yep. The red
So-
moon and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too clear on what the night house was, although it's kind of easy to assume.
Right.
And I didn't feel I was actually, because of the name of the movie, I was expecting the house to be an actual bigger character.
Right. I agree.
And I felt like it was her and the presence. Those
Yep.
were the main characters.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I would not. I'm with you. I really don't think I would call the house a character.
Yeah.
It is. It's her in the presence. It's through the whole movie. It's her in the presence. That's all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
And some people call the presence nothing.
Right.
Some people call it death.
Yeah.
So we'll call it whatever we want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one thing.
Mhm.
I think the only other thing, like, I'm looking at my notes real quick. The thing that also confused me was where things were. So she crosses the lake
Right.
to go to this mirror image house,
Mm-hmm.
this reverse house, and then she wakes up. She comes back to her house, like she goes to open the door, and all of a sudden she's in her house. It's in the morning. She wakes up, and she's in her house again. But then I got confused. Like, so where is the half-built house? Is it across the lake? I don't think so, right?
Well, that's what I got from it.
It seemed like it, but then it never showed her crossing the lake again, and then it showed Mel walking his dog. So, what does he cross the lake to walk his dog?
That was what I thought he did.
It just seemed weird the second time I watched it.
Yeah. That was what I got, though, or at least that's what my thought was that it was on that island. Because that's when she sees the lights on, too.
Yeah, but the lights on were in the reverse image house. That was kind of a ghost house.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, because then when she's walking and she meets Mel walking his dog, she says, I saw lights over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But then, like, it's just weird that, like, it never shows her crossing the lake again.
That's
She
true.
just- Maybe that's on purpose. What were your questions? I want to hear your questions.
Well, one we kind of just talked about was, like, I didn't quite understand the Red Moon world. I didn't know if that was just in her head. Was that a dream? Was that depression, like, building up and creating this world? Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
What if I told you that it's up to your own interpretation?
Yeah.
You don't like that?
This was what's funny is, and I said this to Cindy too, is lately I've been with a lot of these, movies we can kind of interpret. I've been for the most part okay with the ambiguity of them, kind of what we think of it, which usually I don't like. And for some reason, this one is one I didn't like it. I wanted an answer. I wanted to know. So, and I get that that's not the point. And I get that the ambiguity is there on purpose, but I don't know why. This one just kind of bugged me. I just went, I want an answer. I just want to.
That's okay.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
okay, buddy.
Thanks.
It's
man.
okay to feel these things. Because
Thanks,
you
man.
liked the ambiguity of Censor.
I did.
seem to remember.
Yep.
You weren't so sure about the ambiguity of Titan, but
Right.
you still like that movie.
Yeah. Yep.
See, now, and I will say that Titan, I was excited about exploring the double meaning of the movie.
Right. Yeah.
What the metaphors might be.
Yeah.
This one, I was just interested. I was like, okay, so is this in her head or not?
Right. Right.
And there's a lot of clues. So let's
Yeah,
kind
give
of
me
get into
some.
that.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. So one thing I paid attention to. Okay, so one thing that bothered me the first time I watched it
Mm-hmm.
was that the people around her, Mel, her neighbor,
Right.
Claire, which I'm still unclear if Claire is her sister or her friend.
I think
I
it was
think it's
just her
just a-
friend.
Right, a fellow teacher, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Claire, these people and her friends, like they go to the bar and have drinks with friends. It seems like Beth is digging up these tangible mysteries about her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to help her explore these.
That's true.
Now I get somebody being like, your house isn't haunted, you're just going through a lot. But when she starts digging up photos in a computer
Right.
of multiple women, and she finds this woman at a store,
Mm-hmm.
at this bookstore, I don't know. Like, if I'm a friend, I'm sitting there going, okay, you know what? This is starting to sound weird.
Right.
I want to come over and look at this stuff with you.
That's true.
You know, what is this doll that was in this house?
Right.
This voodoo doll. But
Yeah.
instead, everybody just dismisses all this stuff,
Yeah.
which makes me wonder how real this stuff was.
Right.
She never shows the pictures in the computer to anybody else.
Right. That's true.
The only picture that she shows to anybody is the one picture of the girl with her back turned in a bookstore,
Right.
which could be her.
Right.
If that's the only picture you're going on, it could be her.
Yep.
All the things that happen at night, they happen, okay, when she's drinking heavily,
Oh, true.
or maybe when she's gone to sleep, and she always wakes up on the floor or on her couch,
Right.
you know. And so is it stuff that's happening in her drunken dreaminess?
Right. Interesting. I didn't even think of that.
The texts.
Oh,
she gets,
right.
The one night she gets texts from her husband on the phone. She calls her husband's phone, and a ghostly voice is trying to talk to her.
Right.
Like, and it says, "Look out the window."
Yeah.
And she sees like her naked husband standing on water.
Yep.
And then she checks the phone. She goes and she finds her husband's phone the next morning, and there's no, like, it's dead.
Right.
And there's no texts from him, no missed calls or anything like that.
Right.
So again, in her head.
That's a good point.
And so when you look at it from the point of view of somebody who is fighting depression,
Right.
you start to come up with a different story than the one I told in the 3-minute recap.
Right.
You have a story of a woman who, at a young age, was in a bad car accident.
Mm-hmm.
Her heart stopped, and when she quote unquote died for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't see anything. There was nothing.
Right.
There was black. She came out of that, and that created this depression inside her, knowing or feeling like there's nothing after you die.
Right.
Which, I mean, I'll be honest, that scares the heck out of me, dude.
Yeah.
So she deals with depression her entire life. And then suddenly her husband, who she thinks is her rock and her comfort and the person that keeps her demons at bay,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden he kills himself.
Yeah.
So now she's trying to make sense of this, and he leaves this note that
Yeah.
even to her, makes no sense. And wait, I wrote it down. You were right. There is nothing. Nothing is after you. You're safe now.
Right.
So it's like a weird note because half of it is depression, and then
Right.
the other half is telling her everything's okay.
Right.
Which is kind of a weird thing because the whole movie is about a mirror image. Like a mirror image house.
Right.
And even the note is almost like a mirror image of itself.
That's true, dude. That's a good point.
You were right, there is nothing. But then, turn around, nothing is after you, you're safe now.
Right.
So the whole movie, she's in her head, maybe. She's trying to make sense of this, and as she does, she's coming up with these fantastical things because she's finding other things out. She's finding out that maybe her husband did have an affair.
Right.
Because Mel did say he saw her husband with another woman on
Yep.
the island. And
Interesting.
and maybe all he did was have an affair.
Right. Not murder a bunch of people.
Not murder. And he felt bad about it for some reason, but he was also dealing with something else. And we don't know that. And she doesn't know that. So she's coming up with the most horrific reasons why he might have killed himself.
Right.
And they all come back to her own depression. And of course, she would feel some kind of guilt that it was because of her.
Right. Of course. Of
That
course.
he killed himself. So at the end, yeah, you have her. First of all, also,
Mm-hmm.
when she goes to find his phone, she, in the box, like the evidence box,
Mm-hmm.
there's a plastic bag with the gun he used to kill himself.
Right.
And then it makes a point. She goes looking for other, like she goes dumping out the boxes to see if there's any more clues.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she sees the gun in the plastic bag.
Yep.
So she keeps seeing that gun. So she's thinking about it.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then yeah, you have at the end, you have her sitting in the boat.
Right.
And in her mind, she's talking to this nothing, this presence who is telling her to kill herself. Saying there's no reason, there's nothing to go back to anymore.
Right.
Just do it. And maybe she hears Claire's voice as Claire yells out at her.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta admit, when she had the gun pointed at her face,
Yep.
I was nervous.
I was too. I did not know how this was gonna end. Yep.
Yeah. But then she turns the gun away from her face, she drops it, and then she gets out of the boat.
Right.
But then, as you think maybe everything's okay now, that's the thing that really drives it home that this is about depression, is that she looks back at the boat as Vondie Curtis Hall is, or Mel,
Right.
is telling her that it's okay. And I forget. See, now I forget the final. Do you remember what she says at the very end?
She said, or he goes. One of them says like it's nothing, and then the other person goes, "Yeah, you're right. There's nothing there."
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing. Yeah.
But what Beth is saying is that she can see that nothing is still sitting in the boat.
Right.
And to me, that just right away was like, yes, that's depression.
Right.
She beat it in that moment. She fought it off, but she knows that it's gonna be there
Yeah.
for the rest of her life, and that's a sad thing that people with depression have to deal with.
Right. Absolutely. Man, that's heavy,
There
dude.
you go. I know it was a
Oof.
very heavy movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there's so many things that I liked about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of these are things that you like too. First of all, Rebecca Hall.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's what I have too.
Oh my God, she was so good.
I've always loved Rebecca Hall. She knows she's just good at what she does, and this was no exception.
Yeah, she was kind of off-putting to me at first, but then
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I just kept watching her,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, these reactions that she's having to people and the things around her,
Mm-hmm.
the combination of sadness and anger and sarcasticness.
Right.
If that's a word. Is that a word? Sarcasticness?
It is now?
Sarcasm? Sarcasm.
No, I'm sticking with sarcasticness. Way cooler.
Yeah.
No, you're right, though. I mean, all of these... Every scene that she was in made me uncomfortable, but not in a way where I was... It was just uncomfortable because you knew that she was going through stuff, and it was like almost a coping mechanism, which you knew was not maybe the right thing for her to do, which made me uncomfortable. It was like, man, you're obviously struggling right now, but the way you're presenting yourself is not helping it. It's not going to get people to help you. You're not making the right choices, it seemed like, and so it made me uncomfortable in that way.
Same.
Nice. Yeah. I did. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. Speaking of acting as well, I really like the whole cast.
Oh yeah.
Vondie Curtis Hall is just. I've loved. I know he's been in other stuff, but I've loved him since Daredevil.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
He was the best. But I loved him in this too. I like that character. I just thought he was great. So I just wanted to give him some praise too, because he's awesome.
And Sarah Goldberg played Claire. She's in Barry with Bill Hader.
Right.
And
that's right.
She's really good in that. So
Yeah.
she was great too.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, and I liked them a lot better the second time because I made it a point the second time I watched the movie to watch it from the point of view of she is dealing with depression and this is everything that's happening her mind is making up.
Nice. I like that.
And how much of this is her mind making up? You know? Okay, I've got so many little notes, dude.
Do it, dude. Go. Let's hear it.
Well, I got a few. I don't have so many.
Okay.
So one thing is, okay, when the mom comes in to the classroom, which I love that
was the
scene.
best scene.
The way she deals with her, yeah. So it shows her looking at houses.
Right.
And you're like, okay, she wants to move. She's looking at houses to move to. And then she looks over and she's looking at a photograph of her and Owen, her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it shows the computer screen again, it's not houses, it's guns she's looking at.
Right.
So it's like, that's another clue to me.
Yeah, dude.
Like, she wasn't really looking at houses, was she? That was what, in her mind, she made pretend that that she made it up in her mind that she was looking at houses. But really, she's looking at guns because she kind of wants to kill herself.
Whoa, dude, I didn't even put that one together.
You're welcome.
Thank you, buddy. Ooh. Ooh.
What was another one? I mean, yeah, there's lots of little things. Jeez. Okay, another one. When she goes into the half-built house for the first time.
Right.
Okay. At first, I thought maybe this was a fault of the movie, but then I'm like, maybe this is a clue. If there were that many dead bodies underneath those floorboards, she would have smelled something.
True.
And it would have been horrible.
Yeah.
But she doesn't act like there's anything weird. Like, no weird smells or anything.
True.
So is the house even there?
Right. See, that's the thing.
Or is... Yeah.
Because
even... Also, yeah, go ahead.
No,
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, even Vondie is like, there's nothing... This is, government property or whatever. They're not building any houses. There's nothing here.
I've never seen a house here.
Yep.
And it's like, has he just not found it?
Right.
Is it just an abandoned house that... But see, then the girl... But then, okay, so here's the other thing. She meets the girl in the bookstore.
Right.
Okay, now, supposedly the girl drove 160 miles
Right.
just to come to her house to tell her that this stuff happened with her husband.
Ooh.
Did the girl ever come to her house, really?
Right. Or was the girl even real?
Was she? There's a good point, too. I was combining the two. I was thinking maybe she did find the girl at the bookstore and confronted her.
Right.
But was the girl real?
because no one notices her. The picture, quote unquote, picture of her, when Claire looks, says, "That's you. That's not some other girl."
Yeah.
And no one else sees the girl at the bookstore. I mean, she calls for that guy. The guy doesn't come over.
Yeah, he never shows up.
Right. So,
Hmm.
oh, dude.
So, yeah, there you go. There's another thing.
Whoa. This is trippy, man.
Yeah. It is trippy, and I did love this about the movie. Maybe not quite as much as Titan, but it's
Right.
really okay. A movie about depression is not fun,
Right.
but
right.
it is fun to sit here and dissect it and to think about it.
Yeah. Dude, this is fun. I like this.
And there's the other things. So near the final sequence, which the sequence was so good. The sequence in which she's in the bathroom,
Yes.
and the ghost the ghost is holding her, and she's holding the ghost,
Mm-hmm.
and she thinks it's Owen, and she says Owen, and the ghost says, "No, I'm not Owen."
Yeah.
And that was like such a great moment.
It was.
But then she sees a doppelganger of her
Mm-hmm.
with Owen in the mirror as he's hitting the girl's head,
Right.
right?
Right.
And it cracks the mirror. And then he looks at her, and then the ghost supposedly grabs her and is choking her and pushes her. He hits her head on the mirror in the exact same place.
Right.
So it's not like he hit her head in the mirror and it made a different crack.
Right.
It just made that crack, and it gave the crack a reason to be there when Claire sees it in the morning.
Right. I wonder.
I
Now,
got another clue for you, buddy.
yeah.
Got another clue.
Lay it on me.
Okay. I think it's the second time she's haunted.
Uh-huh.
Quote unquote haunted.
Right.
She wakes up in the bathroom on the floor.
Right.
Okay. When she gets up, she goes to open the door, but the door's locked.
Oh, yes. Yep. I remember that. Yep.
She supposedly locked herself in the bathroom, so she unlocks it and leaves. That made me think of when she's supposedly with the ghost, and the ghost closed the door
Mm-hmm.
and locks it. Did the ghost lock it, or did she lock it?
Interesting.
Because then, after it takes her to the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
the door's open again.
Right.
A lot of weird things like that.
I wonder too, and this might totally be way off course, but
Go
now
for it,
I'm
man.
wondering, was part of her depression, what if Owen was abusive? And that was part of it too, because again, she gets her head smacked on the mirror. Excuse me. Was that? I don't know. Like, she has these things about Owen where he was so violent. Maybe he was abusive in some way too. I don't know, man. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. All right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But there's another reason to watch the movie and think of it from that angle.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any clues that would lead somebody to believe that.
Right. I don't know. It's just making me think now. Now I'm just going through going, well, what about that? And what about this?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I really like the song that is played over and over again. It's called The Calvary Cross by Richard and Linda Thompson.
Oh, the one at night?
Yeah, it's a pretty old song. And I looked up the lyrics to see if there was some hidden meaning, and there might be.
Yeah.
There might be. It's like I think the meaning that Richard Thompson mentioned was something taking hold of you, but he meant it in a different way than depression.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. It's an interesting song. It's got some cool lyrics, but I didn't go too far down that rabbit hole.
Right.
What else? What else we got?
I will say I loved some of the shots were really fun. The bloody footprints were pretty amazing.
Loved that.
Uh-huh. I loved too that the footprints got closer and closer. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I loved the silhouette of the nothing.
Right.
I thought those shots were a lot of fun and very.
And I think, see, that's where I'm like, I think that was supposed to be making the house a character because when in
gotcha.
different positions, you can see like what looks like a person,
right.
but still, to me, that's not really the house.
No, that's more the
yeah.
nothing, the entity, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, those were really cool, especially the first time it turned its head to look at her.
Yeah.
And
That
every
was cool.
time after that, I'm just like, well, just move to the left so you can't see it anymore.
Right.
Then it'll be gone. You're fine.
Oh man.
I love the voice, by the way.
Oh yeah.
The way they did the voice with the weird bassy modulation on it.
Yep.
Very cool.
Agreed.
But even the voice, when she's walking up to the reverse house, and I'll just call it the night house, I guess.
Right.
When she's walking up to the night house, the voice tells her, "You're dreaming."
Right. Oh.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Even the voice tells her she's dreaming.
Huh.
Um,
okay. Yeah.
Now, the voodoo doll was interesting.
Yes, that was creepy.
It was creepy, and Claire seemingly saw that doll sitting amongst all the stuff from the boxes.
Right.
Now, the doll, I wrote this down because when she opens the book, you know, she sees in his blueprints the word Kerdroya.
Right.
Or
Yes.
Kerdroya. I don't know how you pronounce it.
I don't either.
I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it looks like Kerdroya. And then she finds a book called Kerdroya.
Right.
And she finds a picture of a very similar voodoo doll. And in the description, it says, in Celtic traditions, the Kerdroya represented any series of simple mazes and reversed spaces intended to confuse or weaken dark forces.
Right.
By distorting the identity and location of the subject, pursuing spirits could be satiated by false forms of sacrifice. Now, who knows what that is?
Right.
On the surface level of the movie, that is the clue that she needs to find out that Owen is supposedly killing women that look like her
Right.
to try and keep nothing at bay
Right.
and to confuse it. And he's building a mirror image of their house to confuse nothing. But again, she never shows the blueprints of the mirror house,
Exactly.
the night house, to anybody else. It's assumed that Claire sees that doll, that voodoo doll,
Right.
the Kerdroya, I think.
Yeah. Well, and even Mel sees it because she brings it to the house, his house. She's like, "What is this?"
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. She does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they kind of blend, the
Right.
metaphor and the actual the haunting. Whichever movie you want to watch.
Right.
They kind of blend. And I'm kind of with you, and I think that's what throws both of us off, maybe. Because there are things like that kind of confuse it,
Yeah.
that make it hard to accept that it's a full metaphor.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, but then I think, well, maybe it's just all this stuff is confusing and there is no answer.
Right.
Like in reality, there's no answer.
True.
You know, Owen had this weird ass doll
Right. Yeah.
and this book. So she's thinking that he killed these women from what she read in the book. And maybe it was just something he was reading.
Right. Huh.
So
Man, that's interesting. That's interesting. Because, yeah, if you look at it like that, or it was like a gift or a gag gift, we have no idea where that could have come from. I mean,
yeah,
it could be nothing.
it is nothing.
Right? Yeah.
Nothing.
Wah, wah.
And yeah, I guess the other thing I want to say especially about her,
Mm-hmm.
is that final night in the house,
Yes.
she has that moment where the whole movie she's been suppressing emotion
Right.
and letting her anger and sarcasm be at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, at the end, she just lets loose and she just starts crying.
Yeah.
And that her acting from that moment through the entire bathroom scene was so freaking good.
Yeah. It was heartbreaking to see her break down like that, too. Just
It
finally.
was heartbreaking, but also relieving.
Right.
It was like, finally, let yourself feel it, you know?
Yeah. Because it really, I mean, his death had just happened not that long ago.
Yeah, like a week prior.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. It takes people time to grieve, too. It's so unbelievable to lose someone that it takes you time. So.
And I keep coming back to how confusing it must be to lose somebody and to not have any idea why they just went out onto a lake and shot themselves.
Right.
That would be just devastatingly horrible.
Yeah.
And how do you live after that? How do you cope with that?
Right.
Maybe you make up these stories in your mind.
Right.
You piece together clues that don't really mean anything of value, and you come up with this fantastical story.
Yeah.
And really it's just your own depression getting the better of you.
Wow, dude.
Maybe. Or maybe you're haunted by your dead husband, who actually turns out to be an evil entity called Nothing, who's just trying to get you to kill yourself.
Yep.
So that he can take you.
What a trip, man. Dude. Now I do want to rewatch it. I watched it twice, but I do want to rewatch it as looking at it as if she is depressed and see it from that point of view. Because that's interesting.
It is a very interesting movie if you watch it like that.
Yeah, because I had read, after I watched it, I read a little bit and saw that, it could be a metaphor for depression, but I didn't dive in enough. So now I'm like, oh.
Well, I didn't see any super deep dives, and the ones like it's another one kind of like Titan, where I saw some interpretations, and they didn't totally match up with my own, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but I love the fact that I have my own interpretation, which I've just laid bare to everybody.
Right.
If you ever watch this movie again and you look at it from that point of view and see have a different viewpoint and a new appreciation of it, I love that.
Yeah. Yep. And I will at some point watch this one again with that viewpoint, because now I want to look for clues too. I want to kind of see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The other thing I'll say, the music. The music was great. Once again, another beautiful soundtrack.
I would agree.
It was scary when it needed to be, and it was beautiful when it needed to be. It was let's see. Music was by Ben Lovett. And he's done a few movies that I've heard of. He did let's see, The Signal. He did The Wolf of Snow Hollow, which I've never seen but I've heard of.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
I feel like he did some Synchronicity. He did a movie called Synchronicity, which another one I've heard of but haven't seen. I think I've heard of Ben Lovett because Mondo has released some of his soundtracks on vinyl.
Oh,
including
sweet.
The Night House, which is available, and I was tempted to buy it. But I'm trying not to buy too many vinyl anymore, buddy.
Yeah, fair enough, man. They can add up.
But yeah, the music was great. Also, the night when she's, I forget if she's just in bed.
I
all of a sudden, like, she just wakes, she's on the couch.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She falls asleep in Claire's lap.
Yes.
And then suddenly she wakes up to the song plus this cacophony of noise.
Mm-hmm.
What an unnerving moment in that movie.
Yes.
So, and I think that's, unless you got anything else.
The only other thing I was going to
say. That's a good segue.
I was going to just say one thing. Sorry, I ruined your segue.
Yeah, man.
But
you did not ruin anything.
The cinematography I was going to throw out was
yeah.
fantastic in this movie. And I will say maybe 5 minutes in or so, there's an aerial shot of the area they're at. And it was so pretty. I just was sat there and was like, wow, I love this. Like, I was sucked in just from that one shot. I was like, this is beautiful. So, yeah, just wanted to give props to the cinematography. Yeah.
It was great. It didn't strike me as much as some of a few other movies that we've seen recently,
Fair.
but I did like it.
Nice. All right, let's segue
So, yeah,
into
you
our...
ready for our 3 questions?
Perfect.
Well, we're not segueing anymore. We're just doing them.
I know.
Segue ruined.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
All right, question number 1. This will be interesting. What was
Yeah,
your
yeah.
favorite death/kill?
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, we never really saw Owen die.
Right.
I'm just gonna say there wasn't one.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, there. I could joke around and say, oh, the death of the girl in the mirror.
Right.
But we never really saw her die.
No, none of them. All
the death of all the girls because we saw their dead bodies under the floorboards.
Right. We see kind of the act on. Well, not even. Kind of the aftermath.
There were no deaths on screen in this movie.
Exactly.
So can't really. This is a non-question for us for once.
Wow.
For the first time.
Yeah. Crazy.
The first time we can't answer it.
Ah, nice. All right, well then let's jump to question 2. Scotty, was this movie scary?
Well, just like the deaths, there were no scares in this movie.
Right.
Just kidding. There's plenty. There are. I'd say, personally, we've talked about this, and hauntings scare me. My imagination scares me. This movie didn't really scare me.
Fair.
It unnerved me a couple times, and it startled me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I just mentioned where she wakes up to the song and the noise. And then when she goes outside and the girl runs by her really quick.
Yeah.
Like, that startled me. But, yeah, I was tense throughout the movie through different points of time. But at the same time, I was wondering if she was imagining these things.
Right.
And that kind of made it not as scary to me.
Yep.
How about you?
Same, I guess. I mean, yeah, it wasn't... I'm not going to lose sleep. I wasn't really frightened. Again, yeah, there was a couple jumps where the girl runs by her. I definitely jumped. But overall, no, I wouldn't call this scary.
And I also wouldn't say that these jump scares, because that's kind of what they were.
Right.
These jump scares were not bad ones.
No, I agree.
They were good ones.
Yep.
They were earned.
Agreed. All right, then, my friend. Question, again, kind of a weird one. Did you have fun with horror?
Well, I kind of already answered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yes. Because until you really start thinking about the depression aspect of it, the scare parts are fun. The haunting moments in the movie are kind of... They make you, like, jump a little and go, ooh, that was fun. That was scary. And like I said, it was fun delving into it and trying to figure it out, whether it's all in her head or not, and how much of it is up to interpretation and how much is kind of shown to you in the movie and get your hints are given.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, how about you? After our conversation,
I
how do
will
you feel?
say, yeah, at the beginning of this podcast, I said about half, 50-50. Now hearing this, I'd say, I'm a math guy, I guess, but I'd say 75% I liked it. 25, I'm still questioning things. So definitely it shot up. Yeah, I want to watch it again with a new mindset.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If only I could do that with Psycho Gorman.
Someday, man. Someday. I promise you it will be watched again.
We'll see.
That's a promise. I promise you, and everyone listening, I will watch that movie again.
Okay.
All right.
Heart stopped. Whole deal. 4 minutes. Oh my God. Afterward, when everyone would ask me when they found out, like, what was it like? What did you see? And I didn't want to disappoint them, so I'd say, I don't know, I don't remember. But I remember Owen was the only person I ever told. There's nothing.
Andrew,
Scotty.
what is our next movie and why is it a Serbian film?
You know, it is because I've heard it's
No,
just
it's not.
No, it's not.
Andrew, what is our next movie?
I'm
Buddy,
sorry.
tell me. What is our next movie?
So our
Tell
next-
everybody out there. I'm going to stop interrupting you now.
That's okay. You can interrupt. No, our next movie. So I know you and I had discussed that a new one that had just come out, but I'm not picking that one yet. Or maybe you will at some point. I don't know. It's not that though, and we'll leave that for our viewers to wonder what that may be.
Okay. Because you can still pick it if you want.
No.
I'm giving you permission to pick it if you want.
Well, the only reason I can't. Well, we'll just tell people, I guess. I really.
No. Well, don't tell people.
Okay.
Just on the spot decision. I'm giving you the power to pick that movie if you want to pick it, or you can go with this other choice.
I'm gonna go with the other choice.
Okay, there it is.
There you go.
Everybody will just have to wait.
Yep. And you may pick that one. We'll
I
see.
may, but I may not.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so I
It
picked.
will be picked eventually. Let's just tell people that.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure it will be. Yes.
All right.
All right. We'll leave them guessing. All right. No, I'm going back just a few years. I'm going to go back 5 years.
What? That's 5.
Well, 5 years. Okay, a few.
I always
5 years.
so I think of a few, and I know it's up to interpretation.
Yeah.
I think of a few as 3.
I've heard that. I've heard that it is.
You know what 5 is, buddy?
What?
It's a handful.
I'm gonna go back a handful of years, man.
Yeah, 5 years.
Oh, dude, I love you. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. I'm going back a handful of years. And I'm picking this movie I had seen once a while back that said it's one of the scariest movies ever. And I've been kind of craving something that's going to make me not sleep.
Okay.
I don't know if it will. But even my dad recently sent me an article. He knows that we do this and fan of the show. But he sent me an article and said, "Have you seen this? Because it's regarded as one of the scariest movies." I said, okay, well, it's on my list. And that is a movie from 2017 on Netflix called Veronica.
What?
Have you seen this?
I've never heard of this.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, okay.
I'm really interested to see this now, buddy, because have a lot of people said that it's the scariest movie?
I've
How many
seen-
people have you actually heard say it?
I've seen a few people, like, just online, because I've looked it up. Once I saw, like, I don't know, some article said it was one of the scariest movies of all time. I was
Alright.
like, all right, let me look.
Because
And I
let me
saw-
just tell you
yeah.
something. Let me stop you.
Please.
Let me tell you something, because normally I'm excited as hell to watch whatever movie you pick.
Oh, boy.
I'm looking forward to watching this because I want to see everything.
Right.
But Netflix has a habit
Mm-hmm.
of posting articles or posts on Facebook or wherever
Gotcha.
that say, like, or there's an article that that Netflix sponsored that says people aren't able to finish watching this movie.
Gotcha.
There's a movie on Netflix that hundreds of thousands of people have said that they can't get through.
Interesting.
And it's all, because then you look at the comments and people are like, what is this even talking about? This movie was stupid.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
you know that it's Netflix advertising and trying to get people to watch a movie.
Interesting.
So we're going to find out
Yeah,
if
this might be
movie is
horrible.
actually scary or if it's just a bad movie.
Oh, boy. This might be our first, like, if it's bad, this might be one of our first, like, straight to vid kind of movies where it's like, oh, geez.
2017, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm looking this up on IMDb.
Make sure it's the right one. It's Spanish.
Veronica.
I believe it's
Veronica.
Spanish. Veronica.
All right, man.
We'll give it a shot, dude.
Hey, it's got a 6.2 rating on IMDb, and that's pretty high for IMDb.
That's true.
All right.
We'll give it a
Madrid,
shot.
1991. A teen girl finds herself besieged by an evil supernatural force after she played Ouija with 2 classmates.
There we go.
Directed by Paco Plaza. All right, man.
We'll try it, man. This may backfire real bad.
Veronica.
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 Veronica. Okay. Nice. So this is a foreign film then.
It is, yes. This will
With
be...
subtitles.
Yep. Yes, it will.
Subtitles.
Subtitles. Subtitles.
All right. All right.
Well, there you go. That's my pick. We'll see.
Man,
We'll see if
I'm
it
so
backfires.
Curious. I'm so
I know.
curious.
I know. I'm a little nervous now. Like, oh boy, what have I done?
Oh man.
Well,
Whew.
yep. We'll
All
find
right,
out.
buddy. Well, you surprised me. That's for sure.
Good. Good. That's what I
I've
wanted.
Never
to
heard
do.
of this movie, and yeah, I'm down.
Nice.
Down.
Might as well try it, man. We're gonna watch every horror movie we can.
Yes.
And-
Every single one,
Every single one in the world.
including Veronica.
Veronica.
Wow, dude.
We'll try it.
All right, you know what else this means?
What?
When you type the title of this movie into our podcast title,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to put the accent above the O.
Oh,
Don't forget
jeez.
that.
I will.
Yeah, I mean that's difficult.
That is. I don't know. I can never remember how to do it.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Hey, have we told people that we have a Facebook group?
I don't think so. Let them know.
It's called Fun with Horror. This episode is not sponsored by Mark Zuckerberg, by the way, who put me in Facebook jail personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably the one that saw the post that said men are idiots and is like, nope, this is against our rules.
Or he's probably like, horror movies?
Horror movies?
Nope.
Who are these guys?
Right. I only watch movie with Jesse Eisenberg. That's it.
Anyway, yeah, come talk to us.
Yeah.
Come talk to us. We don't post enough on there. We post mainly about the podcast, and then our friend Edward likes to make funny little posts once in a while, which we love.
We do love. Thank you, Edward.
Thank you, Edward. But yeah, so everybody, we love you.
Yes. We love you all.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you enjoy Fun with Horror. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple if you like the show.
Yep.
It helps us.
We appreciate it.
We do appreciate it, and we appreciate you.
We do appreciate you.
And Andrew, I love Ziggy,
And I love Bowie.
and I love you.
And I love you too.
Have a good weekend, buddy.
You
or have a
too.
good week.
Have a
It's
good-
Tuesday.
That's
Have a good
right.
week.
It's Tuesday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Owen?